Hey everyone, Nick here, host of the Tabletop Podcast, and this is like the third episode that we've released this week, but this is because it is the last Friday of the month, and at the last Friday of the month, we always release our Patreon-only Wild Magic podcast. It's a great podcast, and we always do a little bit of a free clip here, so I hope you enjoy, and if you haven't already, go check out The Last Hunting of the Boar, the free module that we dropped in our Patreon. You just have to sign up as a free member. I promise, no money required. And I hope you enjoy this episode of Wild Magic.
Pop filter. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode.
I'll have a Coke.
Welcome back to Wild Magic.
You can't get it out.
Oh, my God. That's three.
Yeah, he's really blocking you today.
For fuck's sake. Welcome to Wild Magic, the show where we talk about everything and anything if we don't interrupt each other first. All right. Who's here with me today? I'm Nick.
I'm Rio.
I'm Franco.
Amazing.
Wow.
Why doesn't your name end in O?
Huh?
Why doesn't your name end in O?
I should change that. Nico?
Yeah, Nico's a name.
Nico is, but not Nico.
Nico Suave.
Nico Suave.
Oh, it's Rico Suave. That's what I was thinking
like that for you.
All right, so just for the listenership, we were talking about the two old men rappers.
Two old men rappers
that are on YouTube these days.
Yeah, Pete and Baz.
Yeah, exactly.
The UK drill rappers, and we were talking about all the levels of conspiracy that go down about like, are these guys really rapping on their songs?
Are their grandsons rapping for them? And then Rio, you were about to say something about another
And
group.
I said it doesn't matter because I like the songs.
Right,
I think
exactly.
they're good.
Well, we were talking about how you have to suspend your disbelief with a lot of these pop culture phenomenons. And we were talking about Tupac and how he was an art student. And I was like, that was like a whole trend in like the late 90s. That whole like sort of street gangster thug lifestyle. A lot of them was just like putting on the airs to be like, I'm going to represent from this. And then but then we were talking about how Notorious B.I.G. was like, what if we started pretending to be from the streets to the elites? And he was like, I'll just be very fancy. And then that started the whole...
shiny suit era.
Yeah,
right.
the shiny suit era.
Relevant right now because of Puff Daddy's whole fucking situation.
Yeah.
Shiny suit rap, that's what they called it.
Shiny suit rap.
Yeah.
I've never heard that term in my entire life.
Yeah, I think it came from... I don't think it was the All About the Benjamins music video. Maybe it was like, there's some song with Puffy and Mace. I don't know, but they were wearing like shiny suits in it. And then I feel like that era also had like the Missy Elliott song, like I Can't Stand the Rain. Against my window. What a jam. But I think it only makes me think of that because she was in that big puffy suit with the fisheye lens. Do you remember that video? And she's like, And I guess that suit was shiny, but that wasn't like a bling rap song at all. Missy Elliott is very interesting.
Oh, really?
I don't really know a lot about her, but I always found her songs are so like different. Like all the shit
I thought that you were about to come out with some weird conspiracy theory.
No.
I was like, okay, I'm here for it.
I just feel like her style is so different from that era because it was very much about like money. Yeah. All about the Benjamins.
All about the Benjamins.
She had an artistic style that she just stuck to. And still does. That's why I think she only releases albums sporadically. She's not trying to release 2 or 3 a year to like make money. She's like, when I have something to say, I'll say it.
Yeah. It's really, I think that hip hop amongst all music reflects the era that it is made more so than really any other type of music.
I think that's true just because a lot of punchline, like rap is built on punchlines and stuff a lot of times,
like
and
comedy kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, even like being clever and wordplay and stuff like that, more than any other music genre. I remember when I was a kid, I used to basically exclusively listen to rap, and I remember when I was learning, like when I first got exposed to other types of music, I was kind of like, oh, they're just like. These songs are really short because I was used to there being like 32 bars in a song and it's like all words and it's like and then just like trying to memorize everything and stuff and it's like I can learn this song. It is really fun anytime like a rap song comes on that I learned every word of like when I was a kid and I was like like I still remember it. It's like procedural memory thing.
Yeah. 30 seconds of a rap song versus 30 seconds of a country song.
Oh my God.
Way different 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You could improvise the
4
country
versus
song.
40 words.
Yeah. But I think it's like the lyrical density, right? Because that what you were talking about is like it's really fun to. Well, it's really easy to do like, okay, I'm going to do a pop culture reference here, another cultural reference here, or whatever.
But it's also just like so of the time in that like. If you're like a historian looking back, if you look at like the 80s and 90s, like you see a lot of like more like NWA like protest rap a lot, like a lot of like political rap, and then you get into like the early 2000s to like 2010s, and you get kind of the hyper capitalist rap, and then you start moving into like there's definitely another section between these, but I'm not a connoisseur of rap, unfortunately. But like right now, when you have like Kendrick and all that kind of stuff, it's kind of seems like sort of like this intellectual sort of like artistic rap a little bit. Like if Tupac existed today, I think that he would be like, yeah, I'm an art student. You know what I mean? Whereas back in the time, it was much more like I'm of the street. Because like, that was like the political moment, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I have so many things to talk about with hip hop, and I think I think the thing about us talking about hip hop too is like it is really explicitly a black genre, and it's like we can't really understand that like like the three of us really. But I think there's also like the of the moment thing. There's like a lot of the slang and stuff that will come up that is like when hip hop was less popular, because now hip hop is extremely popular, and like when I was coming up, it was like much less popular. I don't know. Like there's a little bit of hip hop in everything now, you know, like even country music. I think I was listening, I was watching a video.
The crossover is real.
Yeah,
the Beyonce.
My horse to the
of course.
Road,
well, the Beyonce album too, getting snubbed at the CMA Awards, and then like she was getting snubbed, but then also. And then people like snubbing Old Town Road. But then...
Well, even back in the early 2000s, they were dropping rap verses in country songs as a trendy thing.
Yeah. Or Bubba Sparks. Everybody remember Bubba Sparks?
Oh, Bubba
don't
Sparks.
Even know
Bubba Sparks.
Fucking love Bubba Sparks. He was like this redneck white guy rapper. I don't know. He was so silly. I don't know. There's just something really really dumb about him.
I'm not from the South, so my country knowledge is also low. The only equivalent I have is I think his name was like Spoke, and he was the guy who did "Show Me Your Genitals," like that song.
Got it.
And I was
like, comedy rap.
Comedy rap.
Got it. Yeah,
like Fly the Concord style.
Yeah. Nick is a real connoisseur of comedy rap. Yeah, that's great, Nick.
I do feel like comedy and rap are like,
oh god,
like they should live very closely.
I got to tell you, I have so many things to talk about this. Wait, hold on. Okay, so what are we starting with, Franco? No, one thing I wanted to say was that. Okay, so right now the biggest country star, I don't know what his name is. I watched this video by D'Angelo Wallace, who's a really great YouTuber. If anybody knows anything about him, he's really good. But I watched this video by him, and he was saying that there was some country star, whoever like the biggest country star is. He played like a clip of Old Town Road and then this guy's like latest song or whatever, and it's got like a trap beat behind it. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, great. So Lil Nas X isn't country, but this guy is country, even though he has we know what country is. We know what you're trying to say. But anyway, rap and comedy, it can be really rough sometimes because a lot of hip hop albums a lot of hip hop songs are really misogynistic or really homophobic and stuff. And then a lot of rap albums will have skits. And man, like some of them can be really bad, but I think the best skits, my favorite skits on an album were probably from College Dropout by Kanye West. And the other thing about Kanye is that he was a real breath of fresh air when he first came out, like with College Dropout, because it was like, oh, like this is like a different type of rap. Like he's not killing people in his lyrics, and he's also not talking about how much money he has. He's just talking about whatever he's talking about. And obviously nowadays he's like a fucking piece of shit. I hate this guy. The amount of betrayal is real.
Rio's slight laugh. I want to just say real quick though, by what I meant around like it surprises me that they're not closer together, like that you don't see more and more of it. Of like comedy rap songs. It's just
I mean, a lot of rap songs are funny.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
But it's just because like the lyrical density is so high, like you were saying, is that like you can tell a full joke. You know what I mean? You can do the setup.
They're called punchlines.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's literally called punchlines. Yeah. I remember what song I recently remembered. It was Twins, Deep Cover 98, which is a cover of Deep Cover by Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre by Fat Joe and Big Pun. It is such a great song. I don't know how well I want to say it doesn't say a bunch of bad stuff, but it is basically about them just like killing people and killing an undercover cop.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
You know what we should do? We should have you.
Wait, that's funny?
It's great.
That's about jokes?
It's not funny, but it's
a good song.
But Big Pun's like lyrical skill is out of control.
Yeah.
What
would happen if you're doing a rap battle and it's just the past and you put Robin Williams on a hot mic? How well do you think he could rap? Because he has the record for the most jokes in a sentence.
He definitely has the control, you know, to do it. But I don't know if I've never really seen him in any sort of musical setting.
Does he have?
I guess he did Genie.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
And
Genie.
that's a patter song. That's fast.
Yeah,
I think that he could come
But that
on
was
and,
written out for him. Could he do it improvisational?
Oh no.
Well, I mean, he'd have to learn how to freestyle rap. It's a whole different skill set.
Yeah, totally.
Because he has the improvisational abilities to go off the cuff. But I guess,
Can he rhyme at the same time?
Can I say, I love Robin Williams.
I can't wait for this.
One of my favorite
He's about to
actors.
tear him
I
down.
feel like there's a butt coming, and I will lunge across this table like a puma.
The butt, I guess, is that I've seen some of his stand-up, and it's like a little too chaotic for me. And I know people love like, oh wow, he's just like riffing, he's just doing crazy stuff. But I was sort of like, I don't find any of this like super crazy funny.
Well, it depends on what year he did the stand-up. Remember, he was doing a lot of cocaine.
Oh, he was on cocaine a lot. Yeah, that's true. That's wild how that's just like, everyone knows that. That's true.
Well, I mean, kind of like everyone in that scene at that time was doing crazy amounts of cocaine.
Yeah.
He lost a lot of greats.
Yeah.
I'm glad he survived.
Until, you know.
I guess a lot of people did die
Through that era.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good point.
I mean, John Candy, Chris Farley. Chris Farrell also.
Look at this. He's making a joke to send it up in tribute, you know.
No, I'm bad with names.
It's okay. We all know about that. This is a safe space. This is the Patreon.
Yeah.
No one listens. Can I ask you too, because you are my Gilmore guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Gilmore
right.
Guys. Oh, how are you? How are you doing?
So they're in Yale. They're doing Yale.
Hell yeah. Yay.
Paris. We just got a closing of an episode that revealed Paris macking on an old man.
Oh yeah, her professor. Right?
Well, it's like he's like a famous writer. He also teaches, but I don't know if she has classes with him or whatever.
And he's friends with Rory's grandpa, right?
Yes,
yeah,
Richard.
Right.
Also, is Paris hitting on Richard like a lot?
I don't know.
Because
I never picked up on that.
She might?
Yeah, part of it is sort of like she might just be like speaking in a vernacular that's like very old timey, but she did have a line that was like, "You golden tongued charmer, Dick," and I was like, "What?"
Whoa.
She might be having that sort of like awkward Paris thing where she's like doesn't know how to interact with people, so she's going too hard in one direction. But if anyone has daddy issues, it's Paris. So she might also be looking in
like
all
a
the
father
wrong
figure.
places for father figure
She
love.
needs a mother. Well, her mother figure is the maid.
Yeah.
Famously.
Yes. Though we don't really have any screen time with her.
She shows up a couple times.
Oh, yeah? Okay,
yeah.
cool.
She is fluent in. I don't remember if she's supposed to be.
Portuguese.
Is she supposed to be Portuguese?
Right.
Yeah. She's like fluent in
character
Portuguese.
families don't ever get a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for fucking Lane, poor Lane.
I don't understand.
What are they doing with Lane right now?
Lane is sort of like, it's played for jokes, and it's the early 2000s, whatever.
Can't wait for
There's
this.
definitely probably some like racist like tendencies of why the writer is like, oh, this is funny. But it is horrifying. You're watching a young woman be isolated and abused in a whole town knowing that that is true.
Yep.
And just letting it happen.
Well, because here's
Sometimes
the thing. Where do you
Get off.
step in
Yeah.
telling someone how to raise their kids when there's not any physical harm being done?
They don't treat it as they don't treat it seriously though either. It's not like they're saying like, oh, something's really going. Like anytime Lorelai like interacts with this issue, she's always like, yeah, but she's your mother. It's like always what she says. And
which is
like,
what my mom says about like really problematic, like abusive, like sort of like paternal or maternal figures. It's like, oh, but they're your parents. It's like, no, like that's terrible. And also like Mrs. Kim like never has a redeeming moment.
Nope.
Wait a second. So wait, Lorelai tells Lane to like forgive Mrs. Kim because she's her mother?
Yes, exactly.
Lorelai's a huge fucking hypocrite.
Yep.
What?
Oh, that's Lorelai's main trait is that she's a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah. I'm also in this season.
I don't know if that's true or not.
There's the whole thing about like Digger. What's his name? He's like, now he was the son of Richard's partner and now is Richard's partner. That
Digger.
He's like out and alone. But he is cognizant and aware of the fact that he is trading on Lorelai's like antipathy towards her parents to sleep with her or try to sleep with her.
Yep.
They haven't had that happen yet. But he is like disgusting 100% of the time, horrible, and she's like, "Oh, I don't like him very much," but like he'll be like, "Yeah, but your mom hates me too." And then she'll be like, "That is true. Yeah, let's have another date."
Issues.
It's like that's psychotic.
Yeah.
That you would live your life solely in like as an adversary to your parents.
Yeah,
like,
it's very sad.
I don't have a great relationship with my family. I don't do that. Like that's crazy.
Well, you know, what does Lorelai have in the way of hobbies? Being mean to her mom. I mean, she goes to work. She has Rory. Rory's going to college now.
I mean, she has her little projects and stuff where she'll be like, I'm going to take over the whole town and everybody's going to do my whim.
Yeah, but one of her little projects is making sure her mother is miserable.
Yeah.
So that's just what she's doing.
Is Lorelai just like a different version of Taylor?
Who's Taylor? Yeah.
Taylor, the grocery person.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that's why
Is
they
she?
drive each other crazy, but they never like.
They both want control of every other person around them. They need it.
I feel like she allows Rory to go off and do stuff, but she does have that thing where she's always like, "You didn't tell me about that? Like then I won't tell you about anything or whatever." And
She
it's
expects to be the center of Rory's life a lot of the time.
Which is why I think...
And she parentified Rory, famously.
And I think that is... Like, Rory has this thing where she's just like, yeah, like, I still get the Stars Hollow newspaper so that I don't miss out what's happening around here. It's like... That is crazy. You're going to college. Go to college, and then you can come back. It's fine.
You could do that for like a year, maybe, and then you're like, I have to give this up.
Yeah.
But that moment doesn't happen because I think it's just a throwaway line.
Yeah.
The thing that you said about Digger and her like being like, yeah, I'll date you because I want to get back with my parents is such a sitcom thing, right? But I feel like the way that the show is, I don't know. It's like it has these silly sitcom-y jokes, but I feel like it's kind of a serious show sometimes in a way.
It can be, yeah.
Like it tries to be realistic, but then it's also like magical at times. Like I feel like
dramedy.
Tonally, it's like kind of strange.
To feed your argument, in the same episode,
yum.
in the same episode, we have Emily and Richard get into like a real serious fight because Richard has been having lunch with his ex-girlfriend for 40 years.
Yeah, that's fucked.
I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Why would you not tell your wife that?
Yeah, for 40 years, that's a huge betrayal of trust.
But like, I trust Richard that he was never trying to like sleep with his ex-girlfriend or whatever. Like, I don't think that's what it was about. But the fact that he knew that it would drive Emily crazy.
How often does he do it again?
Once a year.
Once a year?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, that's the thing is like,
but
that's fine.
Tell her.
But he didn't tell her for 40 years.
He had 40 lunches with his ex-girlfriend.
You know, I mean, he comes from a very different era, right? Which is, you know, like something that people say sometimes, but it's very much like that's a reason, not an excuse.
Yeah.
Which I love to remind people of. But, you know, it's like their relationship is very like, my world, your world, sleep in separate beds type of relationship. I don't think that's true, but like it's that type of vibe where it's like
metaphor.
Yeah, like I have my life. Like your mother needs to have her Daughters of Liberty thing, and I do my own thing, and like it's all about keeping the peace with her, which is like a really old school way of handling a relationship with another
absolutely.
person that like men are kind of taught to, where you like happy wife, happy life or whatever.
But this is the thing, is that he does have a line in an earlier season, like season 2 or season 3, when Emily wants Rory to do her like coming out sort of ball.
Oh, the debutante.
Yeah, the debutante for the DAR.
Right.
And Richard like calls Lorelai and is like, listen, I don't give a shit about the DAR. I don't care about this debutante. If Rory didn't want to do it, I don't fucking care. It's fine. However, this is important to your mother, and I might not understand why it's important that she gets served tea first every time at the DAR, but I'm going to fucking make sure that happens for her.
Yeah.
Because it's important to her. And that way you're like, it's like, oh, wow, what kind of like a beautiful sort of supportive partner. Yeah. But at the same time, it does come from this weird sort of like I am definitely the boss, but my wife, I have to make sure she's happy. Like that's sort of like, I have to make sure that she's well kept. And like, we may not talk about deep things all the time, but like there is sort of an understanding that it's like a business relationship almost.
Right.
I think
And there it was, another free episode preview of Wild Magic. If you want to hear the rest, and I definitely think you should, because it's a pretty good one, well, then you should head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/tabletopped, and join for free today. All right, everyone, have a great week, and we'll see you on Monday.